While they might raise chicken and cattle, as well as grow watermelons and other row crops during the summer, B&H Farms is best known for their 300 acres of Vidalia onions. And despite not growing up on a farm, it's an industry co-owner Ben Hilliard developed a passion for at an early age.
My dad was a forester and my mom worked for the Board of Education, and we actually lived in town until about my senior year in high school, which I've always had an interest in farming. I worked for a small tobacco farm when growing up, and then later became partners with that farmer's son. You know, that's how we got started. But as far as just my granddaddy, I guess back years ago, working in the garden, I guess I just developed an appreciation for it and a passion, I guess, if you will.
And recently, he, along with his business partner Chase Brennan, were named the 2022 Grower of the Year by the Vidalia Onion Committee, thanks in large part to their commitment to new practices and technology.
We're extremely fortunate and blessed to be able to even be in the area to grow a Vidalia onion. Not everyone in the state gets to, and not only enjoy the process of growing these Vidalias, but also, in the hopes of being profitable. We have what we call AgSense on our pivots, which you can operate from a cell phone, which is extremely convenient. You can watch them during the middle of the night, or it tells you if you have an error or a problem. And with the labor issues, if you can just maximize your efficiency with your work through technology, it'll equate to a lot more time with your family.
However, that technology isn't much help during harvest, as Vidalia onions are considered one of the most labor-intensive crops, which results in some pretty long hours over the next few weeks.
It's pretty hectic time. It's pretty gratifying when you get finished. When we're in the heat of the battle, such as now, there's a lot of pressure, a lot of long hours, but when you're finished, it makes it all worth it. There's a huge amount of work. Everything's hand clipped. We haul them in by trucks and, tractor trailers, and then obviously we go through our drying and packing process before it ever goes onto another truck and heads to the retailers or the customers.
However, you won't find any complaining, as this year's crop appears to be in good shape despite some less than ideal weather during growing season.
It's pretty good. We've had some pretty volatile, weather conditions. That early freeze around Christmas hurt us really bad from, a population standpoint per acre. But considering we're very blessed to even have what we have to pack and harvest this year.
That gratitude extends to the consumers, who are the main reason Hilliard puts in all the time and effort to grow Georgia's signature vegetable.
The most gratifying, to take, a seed, and get it to harvest and get it to a customer, and then have positive feedback from that customer, hearing them how much they enjoyed and how much they, enjoyed grilling or fed their families and so forth.
Reporting from Tattnall County, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.